everybody. I'm back. I'm here to talk to you again. This time, the subject is respect. And where has it gone? So, growing up, I remember having to respect our elders, having to respect the people, other older people, elder people in the community. And when I say elder, it just means, to me, someone that's older than you. Yeah, so let's get started. Respect. Where has it gone? Can you ask yourself that? Did you grow up in a neighborhood, city, town, village where respect was expected? No, demanded, especially from young folks, children, teenagers, towards their elders. But even as we grow older, we still have to respect one another. That's just a decent thing to do. So let's get into it. Here we are. I remember I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and where I grew up, respect was a common thing. It's like if I ever got caught or if I ever disrespected someone when I was outside my home around doing things, the word usually got back to my house before I did. And, me and my siblings, you didn't want to face that. I mean, you would either be put on punishment or you could get a spanking or a whipping, or depending on how severe the situation was. Now, you young folks, young parents nowadays, when you hear spankings, whippings, I don't know what you think. Based on what I'm getting from society, that it seems like that's not being done, or at least not being done as much. And it reflects because I think young people don't have the respect that we used to have for folks in the community nowadays. So, some basic things that we knew we had to do. We had to, of course, respect our parents. We had to respect our aunts and uncles and older cousins. We had respect for our elders, and that means all grown-ups, whether we knew them or not. Of course, with strangers, we still would respect them, but from a distance. That's just what we were taught. Now, we respected our teachers and any authority figure that we would run across doing our daily things, going to school, going to church, visiting, going to the store, anything like that. You always respected figures of authority, police, firemen, even the guys that came around and took care of our sanitation. Back then it was a common name to call them garbage men, which they are not. I do have enough respect for them not to call them garbage men. But that's what we used to call them back in the day. That was another term I ran across recently while I was watching something on TV. And they were talking about how, I think it was back in Massachusetts or somewhere back on the East Coast or the eastern part of the country. They don't consider, like when you're taking out the trash, like out to the curb for the sanitation workers to come pick up. They call it taking out the barrel. And so, I smile because I remember the days when we didn't have the plastic trash cans with the lids like you see everywhere nowadays. What we had those big oil barrels, used oil barrels. And that's what you got for your garbage can. your trash receptacle, whatever you want to call it. And we actually burned the garbage. We burned it in the backyard inside the can, right? So when it got full, you burn it and take it down a little bit, and then when, I can't remember how often, it might have been once a week, but when the garbage man was supposed to come, that me and my brothers had the chore of getting that can out to the front of the house and near the curb so that the garbage man could come pick it up. All right, enough of that. Moving on. I know that'll give you a chuckle for you young folks, but we're going to move on. So, okay, like I said, we have respect for all the figures of authority in our lives. So I grew up in a small village back in the south suburbs of Chicago. My parents were devout Southern Baptists. You should understand that when people hear that, I don't know how they look at it nowadays, but there's a difference. You got to understand there's a difference between black Southern Baptists and white Southern Baptists. And so I think you'd have to have grown up in the United States, at least back during that time, to truly understand that concept. Because I don't think this is a disparity that exists anywhere else in the world. Because I have traveled extensively throughout the world, especially the Pacific, the Middle East, and a little bit in Africa, some of the islands off the side of Africa, Seychelles Islands, Tanzania, places like that. I've been to, but I don't think any place else has that disparity between, like, if you're a Baptist, you're a Baptist, or if you're a Catholic, you're a Catholic. But yeah, that's the way it is here, or at least the way it was when I grew up. So I'm going to assume you know that it takes a certain discipline to live under this societal expectation of respect. Now, there are some countries out there that still have conservative values, and they, for the most part, the whole countries, I've been to a few, and you still get respect like that. You know, everything is yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, no, ma'am. You know, things like that, and just the general way that people approach you, talk to each other, have respect for one another. So I'm going to assume that you know what it takes. That it takes a certain discipline to live in a society that has that type of expectation on its citizens. First, you have to have respect for yourself, because how can you respect anyone else if you don't first respect yourself? And then it starts in the household and then spreads out from there. Then you have to look up to older and wiser people. You have to be willing to accept the fact that through the process of living one's life, people generally gain knowledge and achieve wisdom as they navigate through it. Every experience, adversity, or complication we overcome or deal with in our lives gives us a chance to attain more wisdom, either through wins or losses. Even when you don't successfully overcome it, you still have some lessons learned out of it. And then, that's wisdom. Like, okay, don't do it that way, or don't do that again, or come at it from a different angle. That's wisdom. Now, so let's discuss the word respect. Because we're talking about it, we need to know what it means. And I went to Webster to get these definitions. The simple meaning of respect is to recognize the worth of a person. Another definition is to hold someone in high or special regard. Either high regard or special regard, or both. Yet another meaning is to have a deep admiration for someone elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements, which means you don't have to know them to have this respect for them. It's just something that they gained or that they have achieved through their abilities, qualities, or achievements that you may know about. And lastly, to have regard for the wishes, rights, feelings, or tradition of others. So to have regard for someone's wishes, rights, feelings, or traditions. You respect those things. Now, to admire somebody, you first have to have respect for them. And to have respect for them, meaning to have respect for their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Parents, abilities to be a parent, or qualities of them as a parent, the qualities of your elders in your community, the achievement of folks like, let's say you're, at work, your boss. Your boss doesn't just get put into that role. They have to achieve that role as you move up the ladder. So those are things you give respect to. Someone that has done the hard work and achieved a certain level of respect. Now, true respect means that you show regard for their worth and or ability. That you value their feelings and views, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. You can respect someone. I think, thinking back to the 60s, 70s, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they maybe not at first, but eventually came to respect one another based on what they had been through, and based on the fact that they were both fighting the same battle, but just coming at it from different ways. So Malcolm X, who was not a nonviolent person, respected the nonviolent push of Dr. Martin Luther King and the NAACP. That whole movement. He came to respect that. And Dr. King came to respect Malcolm X for what he was doing, because they were both making gains. And this is what's meant by respect for someone based on their achievements. So what I would say is that, like we said earlier, you have to first respect yourself. And if you do respect yourself and other people close around you in your orbit, then you'll begin to give other people the same consideration that you would expect for yourself. Give them the benefit of a doubt. Allow them to state their case. Don't disrupt. So how do we show respect? Well, there's a few different ways. I can tell you how to show disrespect easy. Cutting somebody off in the middle of a sentence, not paying attention, being rude while someone's talking, disturbing the peace, making loud noises at night when people are sleeping, or even during the day if you know someone that one of your neighbors has a night job and they sleep during the day. It's about respect for people. So how do we show that respect? First, you be kind and courteous to others. You be polite and avoid interrupting, as I said earlier, or disturbing, the peace of others. These are some ways. Another way is to listen to other people and respect the differences in beliefs and opinions that you may have in opposition to theirs. Because everyone has the right to their own beliefs and to the opinions they may have. Now, opinions are like a-holes, right? We all have one. Or you can say opinions are like mouths if you want to be a little cleaner about it. But it's something that everyone has. Everyone has an opinion. And sometimes the opinions of others are totally 180 degrees away out from yours. But you should still be able to talk to people and have a respectful conversation. And if you want to call it an argument, I call them debates. And you can show your side of the debate, your facts, because you can't debate opinions. First of all, an opinion is just something somebody thinks, and facts are facts. We should all believe in the facts because facts have been proven. But when it comes to opinions, the way somebody feels about something, you know, that's not a fact. That's just the way they feel. A lot of people get that mixed up because a lot of people like to insert that word, well, I feel, and then go on to say something. But if what you feel is a fact, then the fact is, not I feel. So that's the difference between a fact and an opinion for those of you who may have forgotten that. Or, just decided that you're going to run with it. Opinions are opinions, facts are facts. All right. Now, you should always think before you speak. You should mind your language and your tone when you're talking to someone. So, you don't want to, even if you disagree with someone, doesn't mean you have to be loud and boisterous about it. Even in the debate, you should be able to calmly state your case. And if the other person is being disrespectful, then that's their disrespect. And then for me, if I don't have to live with this person, then I can just walk away. If I got to live with them, then that's a whole different ball game. Then we gotta address that disrespect. But always think before you speak. Mind your language and your tone on how you come at someone. And lend a helping hand or just an ear and practice some compassion. Have some compassion. So, as we move along here, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Ask yourself, are you respectful to others? Are people normally respectful to you in your environment? How do you handle that? How do you handle that? This is a question for you to ask yourself. How do you respect other people? And do other people respect you? And how do you handle that if they don't? Do you take the time to listen to other people? Normally we listen to the folks that are close to us, the folks in our families, the folks that we, our friends, people that we're around, like at work or something with, that we see a lot. We tend to take the time to listen to them sometimes. But have you ever listened to a stranger? Would you, if faced with the opportunity to do so, help a stranger? All these things come out of respect. Yes, they do. So check yourself. Take a look backwards over the last few years of your life and just check yourself and determine whether or not you actually do respect other people, or do you just talk over them, walk by them, push them aside as you go, not pay attention, walk past people in need. Check yourself. If faced with the opportunity to do so, would you help a stranger? I submit this to you as I close. Be a better person. And if you are a good person, there's still room for improvement. Be a better person. We could all use a tune-up in the respect department. We can all use one. I want to thank you for watching. Please, before you leave, like, subscribe, and share this video with other people. Be kind, and God bless you. Bye.